For the feature session, Associate Professor Sontida Eduardo. Ajahn Sontida is a teacher trainer in graduate programs in ELT and professional and international communication at School of Liberal Arts, King Mongkut's University of Technology, Turkey. She's been involved with many government and non-government projects for the development of ELT in Thailand since mid-80s. In 1992, she served as president of Thailand TESOL, and from 2002 to 2005, an editor of Thai TESOL publication. At an international level, she moderates British Council's Teachers Electronic Network, LTEX, East Asia China, and the US-based educational network IEARN. And in 2006, she received the TESOL Virginia French Allen Award for scholarship and service at the affiliate level. Her main interest lies in self-access learning, technology in language teaching, and materials development. She teaches, supervises graduate thesis and conducts research in these areas. And today, she's going to share her view and experience on the topic entitled Learning through English in Thai Schools, Policy, Concerns and Directions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ajahn Sontida.
Thank you very much. This is the outline of my talk. First, I would like to discuss a little bit about the curriculum ideologies or philosophical philosophy underpinnings of any educational program. And then I will link that to the evolution of international education in Thailand. And while showing you the evolution, the different systems of English international education will emerge, and I will explain and describe and discuss with you. And then I will define terms of learning through English instructions, and at the end I will talk about the concerns and directions for this type of education. Why is it important to know the ideologies or philosophy of educational program? Because if you know the philosophy behind it, then you will be able to. If you have made this, you know all the ideologies of philosophy of educational program, and when you want to develop a program itself, you make decision of what type of program, what type of philosophy you are going to adopt. Then the philosophy will help you determine the aims and the objectives and the content of the program. According to Richards, in his book on planning aims and objectives in language program, he discussed 5 philosophical underpinnings for educational program. The first one being academic rationalism. For this type of, the goal of education for this ideology is that the goal of education is to broaden your mind, and knowledge is the knowledge of the content is the end in itself. It doesn't have any other purpose. It's the goal of education is for knowledge, and but if you look at this ideology in language learning and teaching, the goal of language teaching is not for communication purpose, but for development of the student's mind. Okay, so the next one, which will be more familiar to you, the social and economic efficiency. This educational philosophy stresses the practical needs of learners and society. The program you developed is for the purpose of developing or producing something to match the needs of the market, to get a better paid job or to improve the economy of the country. Language here is taught for practical utility, so it's not just teaching for the purpose of teaching, but teaching for a purpose of using the language. The third ideology is the learner-centeredness. This ideology stresses on needs of the individual students, their experience, their critical thinking, and so on. And in language teaching, the program stresses on the process of learning of the individual students rather than the product. And growth through experience is the key concept. The fourth type of ideology is the social reconstructionism. For this ideology, educational program has a purpose to give power to the people, to create equality. Teachers empower students to recognize what happened in the society and the students being critical about it. And in language program, teachers will empower students and help them to bring about changes in their lives. The last philosophy is the cultural pluralism. This philosophy stresses the intercultural communication. Look at each culture at the same level. No one culture is higher or dominant than other culture. In language teaching, American Council on Teaching a Foreign Language, the Council has identified 3 dimensions of intercultural competence in foreign language program, which is the need for learning about cultures, to compare them and to engage them in intercultural exploration. These are the 5 ideology of philosophical underpinning each educational program, and they are prerequisite to any program planning. They will help the developer to determine the content of the program, to determine the aims and objectives of the program. I think we are more familiar with the second type of ideology, which is the social and economic efficiency, which is to teach language for practical utility or for a purpose of like match the needs of the market. Have a look at this. This is taken from the, it's a new excerpt from the Bangkok Post in December. Prime Minister Yingluck has urged Education Ministry to prepare for a rise in competition in the job market among graduates. She said, I would like to see a curriculum that can produce graduates to cater for market demand in ASEAN. And this is very, you can see this very clearly, that the English is, the education, especially when we talk about ASEAN, it's English language. The purpose is to compete in the market, is for students to get a better job. And this is mainly the philosophy of Thai education, is that, which is to cater for the market. that's the philosophical underpinnings of the language program. All through this presentation, I will be using the term EBE, which stands for English Bilingual Education. By this term, I mean any language programs that attempt to use English as a medium of instruction. In 2010, 2 years ago, I conducted a research study which is commissioned by British Council East Asia to look at the current status, policy concern and directions of the English bilingual program in Thailand. And the subjects of my studies were teachers and administrators from the Ministry of Education, movers and shakers, and parents. This presentation is not the finding of the research, but will be the interesting points that come out of the research, which is the evolution of English bilingual education in Thailand. Dated back in 1959, the first international school of Bangkok was established, and the purpose of that school is to educate children of the US expatriates. And at that time, that's the only international school in the country. And this international school is a Western-oriented style of school, which takes at that time it takes American education system. Nowadays there are many international schools in Bangkok, and these international schools, which are true Western-oriented schools, take systems from different countries, like British system and American system, international baccalaureate, and so on. But the first one is established in 1959. And in early 1960, another international school was established, which is Romrudi International School, and this is mainly for non-US expatriates. In 1961, the Vietnam War broke out, and US soldiers went to work in South Vietnam, but they didn't. All of them didn't stay there. A lot of them stationed at 7 Air Force bases in Thailand, and those are Nakhon Phanom, Ubon, Udon along the border in the northeastern of Thailand, and then Nakorat, Nakhon Sawan in the center of Thailand, and then Bangkok and Chonburi. And these places served as a rest and recreation venue for these American soldiers. At that moment, the ISB, or International School Bangkok, has expanded to cater about 4,000 students. And in 1979, the fall was, that was when Saigon fell, and the US military pulled out of the country. The amount of the student dropped to about 900, but that was only temporarily. Wilkinson reported that, if you can read, the pull-out was only temporarily. Thailand was a domino that never fell, and its infrastructure and economy benefited significantly from the conflicts in neighboring countries. All those roads, efficient sanitation, and reliable power supplies encouraged the development of new settlements and industries. Now, foreign firms moved in, and Western capital was invested in ever greater quantities. So now, the number of expats has increased, and then there are needs for international schools. But still, all these international schools do not allow Thai children to attend. Only the Thai children that belongs to the people who work at the U.S. offices. In 1980s, Japanese economic boom has increased the EFL industry in Asia, and there was a great demand for English teachers and international schools to be established in this industrialized country like in Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, and Hong Kong. And Wilkinson reported that Thailand didn't take advantage of this situation. About 10 years later, as a result of the economic boom 10 years later, Thailand attracted a growing number of multinational companies and faced with the challenges of globalization and internationalization. And Fry, in his report, said that for Thailand to be internationally competitive, it needed to internationalize its educational system. This is to prepare its young people for intercultural global era. Still in the 1990s, there was a dramatic increase of the expat population in Thailand. English proficiency was seen as a passport to success, and this is linked to the ideology of the socio and economic efficiency, that the language or the goal of the curriculum or program is for to cater the need for the market. And Thai families wanted Western education for their children because that could help their children to get a better job and also get a better pay. And then the Ministry of Education started to realize that providing international education for Thai students within the country could be beneficial financially. So they made changes to regulations allow Thais to enroll in international schools. And in 2003, there are about 30% of Thai students in international school. And these schools operate under the Office of Private Education. In 1997, there was a serious economic recession that has forced the families who send their children abroad to bring their children back to Thailand. And this created a demand for English medium education. But there were limitations because there were not enough schools. And even if there are schools, there are a limited number of places for Thai children. So the government think of an alternative international schools which use English as medium of instructions in core subjects, but following the Thai curriculum in mainstream Thai schools. And this alternative international school start first in the private school because it is more because these schools have better facilities and are more ready to adopt this type of education. And at that time, there are schools which they call themselves sometimes bilingual schools, sometimes international schools. But these are not of the Western standard or Western-oriented school that use Western education system. In 1998, the school the alternative international school was opened in the private school. Now, in 1998, the government piloted the same kind of thing in the public schools and completed in the year 2000. And then this year, there's a rapid increased number of private schools offering English medium education. So Ministry of Education was concerned about the standard and the quality of the program. So they issued a policy for English and mini English programs. These programs are the policies are for both public and private schools at primary and secondary levels. This is to ensure that the same standard of this type of schools is across the country. In English program, in English program, the school has to teach at least 4 core subjects out of 8 subjects, whereas many English program has to teach at least 2 core subjects in English. And in 2004, another program called English Integrated Studies was piloted by a graduate student. It was a research project at graduate level of a teacher in a school in Rayong province, Suntanpu. And in 2008, in this English Integrated Studies, the core subjects, the English will be taught by Thai teachers that are trained to teach in English, science teachers that are trained to teach in English, and the 3 subjects that are taught are science, math, and then computers. In English and many English programs, the teachers are mainly foreign teachers. They are that teach other subjects. Okay, in 2008, the British Council has a research project to implement the program called Content and Language Integrated Learning of CLIL in 8 schools across Bangkok. And in this program, the teachers are Thai science teacher and are trained to teach in English. In 2010, the government developed a curriculum that meets international standard in Thai secondary schools. And this is for the ASEAN community. And these schools will accept students from countries in ASEAN community, and the programs are called international program. These are all secondary schools, and they are open as a program in a school. So they teach math and science and the Asian studies in English, added to the other subjects that they learn in school. Another program is called multilingual program. In this program, the students will learn extra classes in Asian studies, IT, English language, and language of neighboring countries. So the summary of the programs are here. International schools, international program, English and mini English programs, English integrated studies, content and language integrated learning, math and science and English program, and multilingual program. English intensive program here is the program that when the Ministry of Education issue a policy to open English and mini English programs. If any schools that are not able to open up English or mini English programs, they can just do intensive English program. In this intensive English programs, the schools will have an extra classes in English, which is taught by foreign teachers. So you can see this is the analysis of the program. I put this in order of high English to low English amount of English, high amount of English used in class to low amount of use. And the bottom is the normal Thai schools. Okay, and for the first one is international school. This use international curriculum and all subjects except Thai and social science are taught in English. This is Western style education. The second one is the international program. Also, this is in Thai school, and we call this is in Thai school initiated last year. Used international curriculum, and all subjects except Thai and social science are taught in English, similar to the international school. The third one is the English program. The curriculum follows basic Thai education curriculum, and at least 4 core subjects has to be taught in English. In mini-English program, also follow basic Thai education curriculum will be in at least 2 core subjects. Content and language integrated skills, also basic Thai education, and only science subject is taught in English. English integrated studies, math, science, and computer are taught in English. Okay. So the least English use is the normal Thai school, and you see that there are so many models up until now. There are so many models that I used to teach English. I've looked at the research that has been conducted. I've studied, investigated researches, many research projects that have been conducted by educational institutions, by Ministry of Education themselves, or by individuals to investigate different aspects of the program. And they look at the model of these research look at the model of English bilingual education system that is used. They look at management of teaching and learning and the aspects of methods of teaching, extracurricular activities, or assessment. The research look at the recruitment of the teachers, the program evaluation, the effectiveness of the program, the obstacles and problems of the program, perceptions of students and teachers and parents, the attitudes, whether they like the programs and what they learn in the programs. And these research studies have recommendations for MOE, for schools, for parents and teachers. But none of them has really looked into the academic success of the program. And this is from the report by Stephen Bax, a British Council expert. He came to Thailand in 2010 to look at the programs, and he said that there is an absence of firm test data by which to evaluate the academic success of the program. We've been looking at different aspects of the program, at the management, but never looked at the academic success seriously. So that's a very serious concern. So we never really know whether the students that graduate from these programs have the academic knowledge, have a good academic knowledge or not compared to the Thai program. But definitely their English language proficiency is better. But how about the academic knowledge? The directions that have been suggested by the research projects, there are two main directions. The first one is that the government should have strict criteria to be endorsed to make sure that to ensure the success of the program. This should be only the schools that are ready in terms of facilities, personnel, teachers, and finance should be allowed to implement the program. Okay, and then schools should be regularly monitored for the improvements. And the second one is the teachers' quality. There are not enough qualified foreign teachers around, so there need to be serious teacher training or to set a high requirement for schools to apply to open an EP program. And that's the direction. But this one thing that we should take into consideration by looking at the Malaysia experience. Kirkpatrick, in his book in 2010, stated that the situation in Malaysia, that the teaching of math and science and English will be gradually phased out from 2012, because the government, according to the Deputy Prime Minister, has now recognized that far too many children, especially those from the low socioeconomic classes and rural areas, were failing in math and science, and that there were not enough suitability qualified teachers with adequate proficiency in English. So we are, should we take this Malaysia experience into consideration as well? We are considering opening up, or we want to teach math and science through English. And can you see this very clearly? Yesterday I went to talk to my friend about the presentation today, and then he gave me this calendar, and he said that here, I'm not sure if you can, I read it out for you. Did you know that mother tongue-based education helps children perform better, feel more confident, and stay in school longer? So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I think we can have a minute for question. Any questions at all? No? If not, thank you very much, Ajahn Suntina, for your knowledgeable talk. I, as a Thai myself now, just learned the evaluation of the bilingual schools, and we learn of a lot of unfamiliar terms of the bilingual schools in bilingual programs in Thailand. So thanks again for your knowledgeable talk. So we have one more section here, right? Okay, thank you. Oh, before we leave.